Hey, everybody, welcome in to today's Supplefull Academy call. Today, Shreya Banerjee and I are going to dive in and show you guys something really cool with AI. So we're actually going to show you how to produce articles using AI that follows a very good, detailed SEO framework. So we're going to focus on organic content. And a lot of what we are focused around here inside of Supplefull Academy does involve utilizing AI effectively, because why not use it with just how powerful it is? So what we're going to talk about today is going to show you step by step, how do you go in using an AI tool. We're gonna actually show you how we go in and find find a product, which is inside Supplefull. And then we're going to take that product and we're going to use a couple keyword research tools, because you don't want to use AI for your keyword research yet. And then we're going to use Claude AI to actually write this incredible article. And let me first dive in here and just kind of kick this off here so you can see. So what we've got here is inside of Claude. I've actually had Claude go into deep research mode. So this is one of my favorite kind of marketing hacks to do. Is I go out here to what's called deep research mode, and I make sure research mode is checked. And I come out here and I just simply type in. I also like to make sure Opus is set, that it's using Opus, because it gives you the best results out there. So the prompt that I usually start with would be something along the lines of, I'll start with something like, I am tasked with writing articles for SEO, GEO, and AEO. So again, all you need to know about that is search engine optimization, how to rank in Google; GEO, generative engine optimization, how do you rank in the LLMs and those tools; answer engine optimization, how do you make sure your site comes up as a response when people ask for an answer, right? And so that's what you want to focus on. Now, every single piece of content you produce should follow this framework, and there's a brand new framework for 2026. Now, instead of Shreya and I sitting here and telling you all the time like what's fresh and what's new, we're going to give you the tools you need so that you can go out and do some of this research on your own. So I'm tasked with writing articles for SEO, GEO, and AEO. I am looking at I am looking for the most useful strategies for ranking, for writing an article that ranks in both Google, Bing, and the LLMs, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, etc.
And because you know this prompt, you could reuse this at any time, right?
Yeah, you can use this at any
Forget,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Can you produce me a a detailed report using research for 2026 strategies that are found on various sites like Search Engine Journal, Reddit, etc. Okay. Now I'm just giving it a list of some of the top journals out there. Search Engine Journal. Let's see. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Search Engine Journal, Reddit, and other major marketing publications. There we go. See, it
You're
helps
too
if you can
nice to
spell.
go back and you respell it. I just kind of right click and let it suggest the
Yeah,
spelling.
right. It'll even fix it for you right there. See that? Yeah, Reddit. Although that spelled it wrong. Okay. And other major marketing and search engine marketing publications. Okay. Now, it's going to go out and do this research for you. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that this kind of task will take a minute, because you're using Opus 4.6, you're putting in the deep research time, and it's going to go ahead and help you, kind of grab the best research. And it actually is going out and doing the research right now. So it even assigned itself as a lead research. So it's going deep into it. So the last time I ran this prompt, it had over 400 websites. Trey, could you imagine like researching
That's crazy.
400
It'd
websites on this
take you
topic?
over a week
It'd
to
take you
do that.
weeks to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it would just take so long to produce. So it's producing that for us right now. Okay. So instead of making you wait for this, though, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply open a new chat here, and I'm going to go open a new tab, and we're just going to make a brand new chat inside of our Claude here. Okay. So I'm going to go over here, hit refresh. That's still doing its thing. Now, what I'm going to do here, I've got this blank screen open. We want to come up with some keywords for a product we want to promote. So we dug through the supplemental catalog, and we came across this awesome product called L-glutamine powder. So we've got our L-glutamine powder here, popular supplement, something especially for like muscle gain, muscle growth, things like that. It does have a little disclaimer that it could actually potentially help with the gut. Obviously, you can't guarantee anything, but it's got these little disclaimers in there, right? So it talks about what L-glutamine is. Now, I went out there, I typed in L-glutamine powder, and I went out over to Google's keyword planner, which is completely free to you, even if your account is inactive or anything. Like, you can actually still log into Google Keyword Planner. You just go to ads.google.com. You will have had to have a Google account at some point, and then just simply go to Keyword Planner, which is found under Tools. You just go to Tools and then Planning, and then choose Keyword Planner. So Tools, Planning, Keyword Planner. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to type in this phrase. So I actually went to the Keyword Planner, and I went in and I said, discover new keyword. So see what it looks like when I first land on this is I go in here and it says, discover new keywords, get search volume and forecast, or organize into ad groups. So we're going to first focus on discover new keywords. So here, I'm just going to go out here and I'm just going to take this supplement. Okay. So we're going to start with just the supplement name for now. That's an easy task to do. And you'll notice, Shreya, look at all this. It gives us all this data. Now, a lot of us, we end up paying for tools such as like SEMrush and others, but they're actually just taking this data straight from Google. We actually recently canceled our subscription there because a lot of this data is available to us right here for free within Google Ads. So that's pretty powerful. So L-glutamine powder right there, you can see the competition is high. One thing that's interesting is when you're writing content to rank within Google or answer engine and all that, you don't want to always go after the ones with the highest volume. But I found this one interesting is right here. It had a year-over-year change of 900%. That's pretty massive.
Right. And even the one up there says about the gut health, which we kind of had that
is.
disclaimer in there as well.
Yes, so that was a great disclaimer. So it was a great catch. So this is the one we're going to use because it's got low competition. And it's also a long tail phrase, meaning it's got L-glutamine, one keyword, powder, gut health. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you add in the word 4, there's 5 words, right, to make it rank. So L-glutamine powder for gut health. Now, there's another keyword tool, though, if you're somebody that's like, I don't want to use, I don't want to use Google for whatever reason. All right. So there's a tool called Keywords Everywhere that you can use. And then you can just type in, a phrase. So I could type in L-glutamine powder directly into Google. And this is a browser-based tool. So you see that. So now you can see that it really blew up recently. So they must have been talking about TikToks and all that. And so best L-glutamine powder, L-glutamine powder uses, benefits, things like that. So it still gives you a lot of the keywords. Oh, notice for gut health still shows up as an option. Now, you don't have data to say this is a popular term, but you can say, Shrey, it's pretty safe to say if it appears in this list of 21, it's probably got some volume,
Yeah.
right?
And you can get data, but it's the paid version that gives you the data. So if you click on load metrics over there, it tells you uses 21 credits. Now we don't have credits, we only use the free version. So you won't see it. And it would just ask us to buy credits there. So but just because it's there, that means it's a popular keyword.
Yep. Yeah. It means it's a very popular keyword phrase. And so you could just grab any of these. And so if you are selling and trying to get organic traffic from not only Google and Bing, but also from the search, Perplexities and the LLMs and ChatGPTs, and you're trying to grab all that traffic that you can get, this is the way to do it. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to type in this phrase now, L-glutamine powder for gut health. Now, you'll notice I've got our research document over here. Now, it takes anywhere from 5 up to 20 minutes. I think it might have taken mine close to 30 minutes. So I already produced this for you. So, but notice right here, it's sourcing 326 sources in this case. So it's like taking its time to dig deep for you. but I already did the research for you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, okay, I am writing an SEO or an article for my website on the topic of boom. I am promoting my my L-glutamine powder supplement on my website. I want to rank in Google, Bing, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and other LLMs. Please take the attached research document and write me an article about my core keyword phrase. Okay, so I'll give you all these prompts as well. So I'm going to go grab the research document. Okay, so I grabbed the research document. It's loading up here. And it's all about garbage in, garbage out, right? If you give it good research, it's going to know what to do. So I'm going to say, please take the attached research document, write me an article about my core keyword phrase. Follow the guidelines in the attached PDF and also research the subject as necessary. Okay, now here it goes. My prompting has gotten so much better, but it's all simply because I just write it to it like it's a human. So like Shreya can recall there was a point in time where I was anti-AI, and now I've fully turned the circles on that. And now all I can
we're using it a smart way. We're not using it
yeah,
like everybody else is who's just copying pasting or using these complicated, super complicated prompts and telling you to
yes.
do this and that. We're using it a very, very smart way.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part. And the one thing I want to say about AI right now while this is working is it's important that you don't let yourself get overwhelmed, right? Like you hear every time you turn on a business training or you go into YouTube or you go into TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you hear all the experts and gurus talking about AI this and AI that, you're going to constantly hear about things like, oh, agentic AI and AI agents and AI this and AI. And you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, these people are 100 steps ahead of me. I'm not doing anything, right? At the end of the day, you are so far ahead of the rest of the world if you're just doing what we're doing right now, like the basics, like using it to write articles and content. There will be a time and place where you can fully automate some of these things. But I think people always automate way too early. So if you are if you're building a brand, you're building an e-commerce brand and you're selling online, it is way too early for you to automate all these processes when you have not made a sale yet, or when you're only making a few thousand a month or something. It gets to that point when it becomes a nuisance for you or a hassle for you to do a lot of the work. But there is a lot of stuff that you can still do, manually. You can figure some of this stuff out. You can use AI for things like this, which is to write powerful articles for you that then you can just publish on your website. Eventually, you could have it run on its own automated sequence and go create this. But you know what I see, Shreya, all the time are people that are out there spending money on a whole bunch of like detailed deep dive training on how to set up this whole system. And like the reality is they haven't even made one sale yet. And yet they're going and setting up a fully automated system. Like I
Right.
remember many years ago, this actually reminds me way back when I was starting my business. And, I knew the revenue numbers I was doing and I would hear people talk about their revenue numbers, but it was always a brag from people to talk about how big their team was. So I've got a team of 10 VAs and I've got a team of 6 VAs. And I was outperforming them revenue wise by myself, right? Because it doesn't matter how many VAs you have. If they're not doing the work, right, then it's useless. And so same thing with AI. If you have a bunch of AI agents, it might make you pound your chest and you feel like you're accomplishing something, but you're really not accomplishing something. So be careful. There's a lot of noise out there. Use what works, and you're doing just fine by adapting what we're teaching. Now, Shreya, did you notice what it's doing here, right? So it's
And it's
reading the
actually
relevant
telling
skills.
you what it's doing too. That's the
Yeah.
cool part.
So yeah, that's the best part. It's like I'm going out here. I have thorough research. So let me build the article as an HTML file. So it's going through the playbook guidelines. It's researching L-glutamine for gut health thoroughly. So it searched the web. So you can actually see where it went. Like Shreya, I would not have had time to go to all these websites. Like, look at that.
No, it would take you more than how long we've been waiting for just to go look up all these sites.
Yeah, just to go look all these up. And it was happening over here. Now, I could go on and do something else. I could come up with more articles to create content around. I could create ads. I could, work on an email to my list. Like I can work on other things while this is working in the background. See, so like this is still working over here and this is still working over here. Now, you might be wondering, like, Paul, this is not as instant as ChatGPT. And we do love ChatGPT and use it a lot. The problem is, like, if you're doing like the deep research, it's not as detailed here. And so it's not going to be as detailed as if you go out. That's why the response comes back so quick. So if you want to have something that's really, really good, then this is what you need to do. Like this article is published with the table of contents. It's like the exact style of article you would expect to find on the highest of index pages. Like it's so, so crazy. So does L-glutamine powder help with IBS symptoms? It's designed with these different questions in mind so that it shows up for answer engine optimization, for GEO, and also for SEO. So answer engine meaning like it's going to show up as people prompt it. So a lot of people prompt their AIs, like they go to ChatGPT for search now, less to even do work, but just for search. And so they're using it to come up with these. So it came up with a really good detailed article here that you can work with. So I could take this article and it even says like add your author name and all that, put your LinkedIn bio. They gave you everything, like the framework of the article. So all you would need to do is go into your,
And also
LLM of choice, copy and paste it in there.
also the format. Notice it gave you the format too, because a lot of times when you just get plain text, you don't know what the headline is, or like you're sitting
Yeah.
there guessing. It kind of gave you all of that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Notice what it says here. So it says the SEO layer. So H1 is the primary keywords. That's right here. A glutamine powder for gut health. Question-based H2 header mirroring people. Also ask queries. So right over here. So it's got that in there as well. So, and it's also pulled in like the AEO layer. So every H2 is followed by 40 to 60 word self-contained answers. So notice these right here. So that means it'll ask that question and then show up here so that it's easy for the robots to find it and spider it. Now, who better than to determine this than a robot itself, right? Saying this is how we scour the web. So this is how you should produce the content. So it's much more streamlined. A human could not produce this level of content, not at least at this pace. And
No,
then,
no, no. It would take
yeah,
a week, if not more. Because
yes.
I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
that this is kind of like a research paper if you're thinking about it
Mm-hmm.
from school and college, right? So it'll take you more than a week at least.
Yeah. And the
Because
article
it
runs
even
2,800
it
words too.
even references sources. So like if you were to scroll down, it goes through and references other things, other data from everywhere. So that would have taken time to actually go in and do that research to come up with the data.
Yeah. So we have a fully ready to go article, and then you can just give it to your team, and your team could publish it to your website. Now, if you're using Shopify, I could tell you like we did all the SEO behind the scenes for Cellcore and Microbe Formulas, the company that did hundreds of millions of dollars when they got acquired, and they sold a lot online. And they were actually using Shopify for their blog. So I was optimizing their Shopify post. And so all you'd have to do is just take this and just share it with your team. And it might take them 15, 20 minutes to get this into the website, maybe a half hour, who cares? Right. But if it takes them a little bit of time, or if you have to do it because you're new, right? Like, don't think like I need to have this huge team. Basically, you just wrote an article here that would take you a week to do, as Shreya was saying, like with all the research and digging in, doing everything. And even then, you probably wouldn't have it 100% by the framework. So even if it took you that long, and then it takes you it takes 10 minutes to do this, 30 minutes to add to your site. In under an hour, you have an article published. Like that's a pretty successful day. And it's going to be, a quality piece of content that you have. And a lot of people, have kind of come across this and they're like, well, but Paul, like AI is, like they'll question things and they're like, well, what if Google doesn't like the content that gets picked up? Or what if they view it now, view it as just AI generated content? Now that lens has changed a lot. There's a certain structure that they all want now. The content, when you do it this way, it actually comes through written like it's almost written by a human. And you could even give it in the prompt, like I want you to write like me and give it your previous articles. Like you can do all that kind of stuff to really humanize it even more. But as it at the surface level, you could get by with just this because right now the answer engine and chat GPTs and all those, they are looking at this at a much different lens now. It's not the old SEO lens that we used to always talk about. Like a good amount of the internet, my dad, who's in his 70s, is talking about, yeah, AI I just pulled that up from AI recently, like as we're talking on the phone, like he uses AI now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Google. So we need to be where the people are. And so that's how you start to show up. And so at bare minimum, take what we have here and you now have an article that you could go with. Now, the one thing I want to point out, because it's tempting to go here and say, okay, I'm just going to download this. Well, it downloads it as an HTML file, which on paper sounds good. If you actually had just a standard HTML site, you could just, publish it and you're good to go,
Yeah.
right? And you're done. But if you don't, you obviously are going to need to, you could go publish artifact. Like this would be one thing to do. So you could say publish artifact, or you could come down. You don't have to actually publish it, but you could go down here if you wanted to share it with your team. And what I often do is I'll take this and I'll just copy and paste it all the way into like a Google Doc. Usually it'll keep the exact same formatting. If it does not, notice it even put a medical disclaimer on there. I want to point that out. I mean, it covered all your bases there. So I'm going to open up a Google Doc here. So Google Docs. Okay, there it is. So then I copied and pasted this into Google Docs. And you can see what it looks like here. So if you wanted to share it with your team to upload here, you at least get the idea of what it should look like. And if you really want to see what it would look like, you can just, go in here, or you can publish it and then share it with your team to then go in and copy and paste it. So I usually sometimes will publish the artifact and then I can more easily copy and paste and, put it into whether it's ClickFunnels, Shopify, WordPress, however you want to put it in there. But that's something though you could have a team member do, or you could do it yourself when you're starting out, or it does not matter, right? Like at the end of the day, somebody could do it. Eventually you could have your AI robot do it if you really want to, and you can't stand doing any of the work, that's fine too. But you get the idea, and it's ready to go. Like this is fully optimized to show up in Google. It's fully optimized to show up in ChatGPT, Perplexity. Like this is powerful stuff. And you can go do this for all these different articles that you see here. Best L-glutamine supplement, NutriCost L-glutamine powder. Like you could do research on this stuff. And again, start to rank for your competition's L-glutamine powder names, and then start to show up so that it's your L-glutamine powder. So this is the key to starting to generate more traffic, more clicks, more exposure, and build your brand out as the authority in your niche market. This is exactly what we did behind the scenes at Cellcore Microbe, and this is exactly what we're going to do here for your brands. And so this is a great way to grow. And then finally, as you come in here, this is the entire document that it created based on everything that I was just showing you. So how to rank in both search engines and AI answers. This is pretty close to what I already have, but this is pretty detailed. And all you have to do now is just, you can copy and paste. I recommend taking this. What I did is I actually copied and pasted it into a Google Doc, and then I saved it as a PDF, because for whatever reason, if I went download as a PDF, it didn't it didn't actually come in as the most readable format. Some of the time it does, but either way, you can download it as a PDF, or you can copy and paste the whole thing, which is just as easy, into Google Docs. And that's usually what I end up doing. Copy and paste that into Google Docs, bam. And then now I've got a document that I could work with right here. And then I could just go to File, download PDF, and now I've got this PDF that's ready to rock and roll. So this is this is how you do it. It's pretty effective, and you can go in with this prompt, and now you've got content that you can then publish to your website and start to rank on Google organically. So that is pretty much a step-by-step system for finding an article, writing an article, and then turning it into a content piece that gets you discovered across all the different channels organically. So Google organic is still effective. It's still something you can do. It's still a great way to grow your brand. And when you layer in all the AI tools, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So, Shreya, anything else you want to add on that?
It's very powerful. It makes it much easier for you to be consistent because it is so easy to do now, and you don't have to spend hours and hours and weeks upon weeks to create that content.
Yeah, it much easier. So we'll share both the prompts below and then along with that PDF so you can just get started. But at least you have the prompt so you can just run this every 6 months, every year, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then you can have the most up-to-date SEO strategies. It's literally like having an SEO agent in your pocket. We just handed that to you.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
you're like, I mean, it's insane what you're paying us. We just gave you what a top SEOs would do. People that pay us thousands of dollars a month to do this for them. We just said, here it is. And you don't have to pay us thousands a month. We're just going to give you this because you can then take that and do it yourself on your own site now. And you no longer need those agencies to do that work. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. We're glad to equip you with that power. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you on the next call. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. Bye now.